this video who are not familiar with this channel, hello, my name is Molly. Happy Project for Awesome. So, as one of the young people, or the millennials, or whatever the heck we're being called by adults these days, I can confirm that many people my age often have the exact same mindset without even realizing it. And the best way that I can describe this mindset is, nobody understands me! I'm all alone in this cruel, dark world. Nobody in the entirety of human history has ever experienced the pain that I am feeling right now. And on a certain level, I get it, because for some reason that I will never understand, talking about your feelings isn't considered cool or whatever, so we all just kind of bottle everything up inside of ourselves as if we, don't know that that's going to backfire on us. And sometimes your immediate circle of friends just won't be able to relate to things that you're going through, like maybe you're a minority and they're white, or you're gay and they're straight, or you like Ninja Turtles and they like Power Rangers. People that you're normally very close with not being able to understand things that you're going through can make you feel very isolated. Like, I personally have been struggling with some mental health problems for a while, and a lot of my friends are sympathetic, but they just can't really understand what I'm going through, and that can make me feel rather alone sometimes. But when I feel that way, I'm forgetting about the truly awesome interconnectedness of the human species. There are, like, 7 billion people living on the planet right now. No matter what you are going through, there is probably someone out there who can relate. And it doesn't even matter if they don't live near you, because we have something that is wonderful, well, it's sometimes wonderful, it's something that is sometimes wonderful called the internet. Look around at how lucky we are to be alive right now. Humans live to tell stories to each other, to pass on knowledge and ideas, to comfort, or even just to entertain. And no matter what you tell me, I will always believe that the emotional connections formed between people and the stories that result from them are truly the human race's greatest asset. Due to a couple of wonderful little things called depression and anxiety, it's quite easy for me to forget about those connections and the power they hold. However, I don't have to remember it myself anymore because there is an entire non-profit based off of this concept. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to StoryCorps. StoryCorps is a nonprofit that aims to record and preserve the stories of regular people to build connections and compassion in humanity. At the same time, they are also creating an archive of stories for future generations, as all StoryCorps interviews are forever preserved in the United States Library of Congress. StoryCorps believes that all stories count, and as such, they try to gather stories from diverse sources that otherwise wouldn't get the chance to tell their side. They present all opinions equally and with dignity. The downside to this is that currently, the nonprofit only works in the United States and other outlying territories, but hopefully one of these days they'll be able to expand enough to work in other places as well. In addition to just generally trying to get as many stories as possible, StoryCorps also has several mini collections of stories that they try to gather called initiatives. Their newest initiative is called One Small Step, in which people with vastly differing political opinions have calm, respectful discourse with each other, as opposed to, getting into fights on Facebook and flipping over tables at whoever's family reunion or something. Other fantastic StoryCorps initiatives include Road to Resilience, Memories That Move Us Forward, which aims to help children with deceased parents and other family members cope with their grief. The Military Voices Initiative, which gives veterans, service members, and military families a platform to share their stories. StoryCorps Griot, which collects the life experiences of African Americans, especially people who have roots to the African diaspora, and which was at one point the largest collection of African American stories in history. The Justice Project, which collects the stories of people, especially people of color, whose lives have been heavily affected by mass incarceration. The September 11th Initiative, which aimed to record at least one story for every life lost in the attacks on September 11th, 2001, and the bombing of the World Trade Center on February 26, 1993. In 2012, StoryCorps actually received a prestigious Peabody Award for the audio and animations relating to this initiative, and they shared an Alfred I. DuPont Columbia University Award with NPR and the PBS show POV for their collaborative miniseries StoryCorps 9/11. There's also StoryCorps Out Loud, which records the life experiences of LGBT+ people and was actually launched on the 45th anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising. StoryCorps Historias, which preserves the life experiences of Latin American people. The Memory Loss Initiative, which records the stories of people with various forms of memory loss. StoryCorps Legacy, which partners with hospitals and other medical organizations to tell the stories of those suffering from serious illnesses. years. And The Great Thanksgiving Listen, in which high school students interview their elders with the goals of empowering young people and creating an oral history of the entire contemporary United States in one single holiday weekend. StoryCorps has recorded over 60,000 interviews in the past 15 years. In fact, this October was actually the organization's 15th anniversary. All of these stories have been preserved in the Library of Congress for others to hear and experience, and some of them even get played on national radio on NPR's Morning Edition. And guess what? You could even tell your own story and get it put in the library and maybe played on NPR. But Molly, how would I go about telling my own story and getting it put in the library and maybe played on NPR? Well, I'm glad you asked! If you happen to live in or near Athens, Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, Charleston, West Virginia, or Chicago, Illinois, there just happens to be a StoryCorps booth that you can just walk right into with a friend and record your conversation at. But Molly, what if I don't live in or near Athens, Atlanta, Charleston, or Chicago? Well, you're in luck! There is this wonderful little thing in existence called the StoryCorps mobile booth. It's an old trailer that they converted into a traveling recording studio. So here are all of their announced tour dates, so if you happen to be in or near any of these places at the allotted times, you can just walk on in with a friend and do your thing. But Molly, what if I'm not going to be in or near those specific places at those allotted times? Well, guess what, friend? There's an app for that! Look around, how lucky we are to be alive right now. You see, StoryCorps was granted the 2015 TED Prize, and so they used the money from that to develop the StoryCorps app. The app guides you through how to conduct your interview, helps you get quality audio with just your phone, and even helps you upload the audio straight to the Library of Congress. That's right. If you and a friend have an important or interesting story that you think others need to hear, you can get it uploaded straight to the goddamn Library of Congress with just one app on your phone. God, I love technology! Stories are a fundamental part of our society and our humanity as a whole, and StoryCorps wants nothing more than to listen to yours. After all, the best stories do tend to come from ordinary people, as long as you just listen close enough. So, if you have a story that you think others need to hear, feel free to share it with StoryCorps. Or if you don't have a story to share but you'd still like to support this awesome nonprofit, then feel free to take yourself on over to StoryCorps.org and give them a little donation. I also hope that you might see fit to visit ProjectForAwesome.com and vote for StoryCorps, because if you do, they could win a whole lot of money that would really help them continue to decrease world suck and increase world empathy, which, as we all know, is a major component to World Awesome. Also, feel free to donate to the Project for Awesome Indiegogo so that as much money can be given to StoryCorps and other NERDFIGHTASTIC charities and nonprofits as possible, and you should probably also check out the P4I live stream while you're at it, because something tells me that as I'm saying this, John Green is drawing on his own face with Sharpies. Abby, don't forget to be awesome, and I will see you on next Friday.